Hi, everyone. My name is John, and I'm coming to you from the Signing Savvy leadership team. We decided that we wanted to make a few videos showing different ways that you can use Signing Savvy to build and enhance your ASL programs, whether it's ASL classes that you teach at a high school level, college level, whether you are a teacher of the deaf, that type of thing. So, this first video is going to be one probably in a series of a few, but this one's going to really focus more on building your classroom and your classes. Many of the classrooms may be virtual, and so this is going to be building and enhancing like a beginning ASL class. Um, like I said, probably in a high school or a college, that type of thing. I wanted to show you some of the ways that I use it. I currently teach at a couple different colleges, and but I've worked with a lot of different teachers throughout the United States and Canada that use it in their high school programs and things like that. And so these are just some suggestions and ways that you can use them, some features that we offer on the site that are really, really helpful and can engage your students. So first of all, you have to make sure that you're signed into Signing Savvy. You'll know that you are because you'll see your name up here in the corner, and you'll see that it says that you're currently a full member. Okay. Now, this does require that you're a member in order to access all the different things that I'm going to show you today. And we do have some great membership programs, so check those out. All right. But so once you signed in, you know that you're a member. This area right here, the sign of the day, is one of the really neat areas that there's a lot of information to it. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to check out the sign of the day and all the things that it offers. Okay, so once you're here, today's sign of the day happens to be early. Right? You'll see at the top there's 3 different variations for the sign for early, so you can have your students get on there and see the different variations for early. Okay, there's also a fingerspelled option and everything, so you can always see that. But then once you start going through, you're also going to see a sign notice that may talk about something about the sign. The sign notice isn't on every sign, but it's on some of them. So if there is a notice, make sure that you point that out to your students and let them look at that. All right, and then you're going to go through some of the other features. Okay, there's usually a visual picture that goes along with it. There's something that talks about what sign type it is, whether it's ASL. There are going to be a few English signs on here. We don't usually focus on English because we are purely an American Sign Language ASL site, but we do have some on there. Primarily, we're ASL site. There's a description area here. So this description area is going to talk about how it is that the sign is signed. Right? That's important for beginning signers to be able to focus on, and oh, did I turn my hand this way? That type of thing. Okay. There's also going to be an example usage. So there's a sentence. This is going to be the English sentence. Our teacher requires me to use or to be early to class. Then there's an ASL gloss for it. And you'll notice when you go over the ASL gloss, each link lights up to the words that are in the sentence. So you can click on each of those and see those individually as words if you want, or you can just watch the sentence signed by another one of our leadership team right here. Okay, and then it'll give you some other things to the variations that go along with it. So just this piece right here, this sign of the day, is really good because it helps to increase your students' vocabulary. Okay, as I said, they'll get that sign description, their memory aid. They'll get other words that are signed that way. Now with this one, there isn't necessarily something else that can be English word that can be signed that way, but in many words there are. Right? They'll see an English sentence using the word and the ASL gloss. Okay. The use of this feature on your smartphone app alone is extremely helpful in learning. I've had a lot of students that, were really excited because most of them carry around their phone with them everywhere. So to be able to have this feature on their phone and just be able to see these things in there are really good. Okay. But we're going to go back now. So that was one feature. We're going to go to our fingerspelling. If you look, there's tabs up here that say fingerspelling. There's a tab on here that says fingerspelling. Fingerspelling is one of the primary things that you have to learn in order to be a signer. Okay, and it's really easy to learn with using the Signing Savvy Fingerspelling site. So there's going to be printables and posters and things like this that show you the manual alphabet. Okay, but then once you get that down, you can go in and you can use these fingerspelling links here to create quizzes and flashcards and things like that that go along with the fingerspelling. The fingerspelling and number section At the box at the right of the main page of the site is an excellent way for students to practice their fingerspelling. The flexibility of how many letters, how fast, how many questions really allows students to master their fingerspelling skills, and again, can be accessed through their smartphones and their tablets on their computers. So I'm going to give you just a little glimpse of how you can set this up. Okay, it's already kind of pre-set up for you, but then you can go in and change things. But I'm going to do it with 5 letters. How many questions? 10. A default speed. You can make it faster, you can make it slower. And then I'm going to say start the quiz. And then she's going to pop up. And she just fingerspelled Haiti. So I'm going to click on Haiti, submit my answer. And it says right there, you're correct. Okay, so here's the next one. Okay, did you get that one? Aiden, all right? So I'm going to click on Aiden, submit and reveal. Right here it says, you're correct. Okay, and it tells you exactly how many you have, 2 out of 2. Right. I'm going to do the next one. I'm going to get it wrong on purpose. Okay, this one says, which fingerspelling below can mean jewel. So this gives you the word, and then you've got to look through these and see if that's it. If that's it, so this is like a multiple choice. If that's it, that's it. And you set these up as you were creating your quiz, how you wanted them to be. But I know it's the first one, but I'm going to say it's the second one just to see what happens with it. All right, and then I'm going to submit my answer. Incorrect, it tells you at the top. Okay, so this fingerspelling tool is just a really cool tool for our students. Fingerspelling is something that's really troubling for a lot of people, but it's something you have to master. You've got to get down. So this is just a really cool feature. All right. So the other thing that is my favorite thing that I use a lot is this thing right here called, well, it's up here called lists, or it's down here called savvy lists, my lists, or shared lists. Okay. Word lists are the way for you as a teacher or a parent to communicate back and forth with home or school. So this takes the guesswork. As a teacher of the deaf for many, many years, I would send home, write out notes and send home lists saying, we're talking about food vocabulary, let's say, and these are the foods that we talked about. And I would, give this word list to my parents, and then the parents would try to find whatever accesses, they had to things, whatever resources they had. It was a lot of dictionaries, a lot of that type of thing. And it was so frustrating for them because unless they had the exact same book, and then even to try to figure it out from a book, it was really, really difficult for them to do. This takes all that away because what you can do is you can create your own lists of things, okay? You can decide whether you're going to share them or keep them private, all right? And then the parents can get on and they can find exactly. So these are a bunch of lists that I've created for different books that I use for the teaching that I do, or children's books, that type of thing, okay? Let me just click on one here and see, since I said food, let's see what we see for foods here. So this is one of the foods list that's shared. I'm going to view my word list, all right? And then I'm going to see that these are going to appear here. So chips, fun, hamburger, hot dog, ketchup was just a little brief one, probably that I made for someone that I was working with. But then again, I can click on each one of these and look at these specific ones, or I can put them into a quiz format where I'm testing myself, okay, quizzing myself. Again, there are choices and some things that you can do to make it more specific to you, whether you want match signs with meetings, fill in the blank, all that type of stuff. And then start your quiz. So up here, she's signing a sign for me, and I have to choose whether that was hot dog, fun, ketchup, or chips. I'm going to say fun. Submit and move on. Okay. Which one is chips? Well, it's not that one. It's not that one. That's a fingerspelling word. It's not that one. Potato chips. That's what I see right there. So I'm going to choose that one. Okay. So I don't want to spend too much time on this, but just this word list in general is such an amazing feature, and it takes that guesswork out of trying to figure out exactly what was the teacher talking about, what were we supposed to be doing. Word lists are awesome. And like I said, again, you can either share them, you can keep them that they were just private to you. Maybe it's something like a social story or something like that that you don't want the rest of your students or just the general public to see. But then you can send that link directly to the parents of your students and they can see what's going on. Or you, as a college teacher, can create this list. Maybe you have one student that's really struggling with a certain thing. You can help create a list of them of the words that they need to work on, and then send them that direct link. Okay. A lot of them, like I said, from my list, if it's a word list like this, this goes along with the workbook that I use, or an ASL teaching book, ASL at Work. This is all the signs that are from that unit. I just paste that link right into my Canvas page, which is where I build my course. Okay, so those are there. Signing Savvy has Savvy lists that are words that word lists that we've created, okay, that are out there for anybody to use, okay, and there's several of them. But then again, there's shared lists that other users, so there's been many, many, many users along the way here that have decided to post their lists on here. So you'll see Bravo lessons, you'll see songs, you'll see, and then you can see the creator of who it was that listed them as well. Okay, so word lists are just an amazing feature. All right, the making of the word list can be either private, as I said, between you and a specific student, or shared publicly for many others to use. Through these word lists, you can quiz yourself, use flashcards. It's a great way to continually maintain and add your side vocabulary. A teacher can create specific word lists that go along with the curriculum or text, and then using them with the class, the students can access it easily and see exactly how the signs are performed. Okay. Again, I can't say enough about the word list feature in Signing Savvy and how amazing it is. Okay. Now let's go back to our home page. All right. On the right hand side here of the home page is a list of things that go to our blogs. Okay, our blog articles, we've been around for roughly about 11 years now, and so there's blog articles that date way back, and even though they may be older, they still have some really good information in it that's relevant about sign language. Okay, so you can search different topics and go and find articles that way, or you can just browse through these here and find many blogs that cover anything. I mean, a number of topics that have to do with American Sign Language. So oftentimes I will go and link to those blogs and then put those into my Canvas pages for my students for them to read. And then there's usually a discussion area within your teaching too, where students can go on and discuss certain topics. So the blog articles are really good discussion starters to just kind of find out where the students are, what their feelings are about things, that type of thing. So I highly suggest that you use that as well. Search them, look up, play around with all the different blogs. I mean, there's one right now that talks about a membership thing that we're doing, but there's many different blogs and they just keep going on and on and on. So you can scroll through and search that way, or you can search by topic. Okay. Now, another thing is deaf culture, right? This area is a treasure trove right here because these are all different articles about different deaf people, okay, who have contributed in some way to deaf culture. And I'm a firm believer that if you're going to be teaching the language, you also have to teach about the culture and the community. And so these are ways that you can do that, okay? You can assign articles like this to your students, and then they can go through and read them, have conversations amongst themselves and their classmates, that type of thing, okay? They just keep going on and on and on, and these are really great. They've been written by a number of different people. They're a great resource, okay? So that falls under this category here of deaf culture, all right? The next thing I want to talk about is our handouts and printables, okay? There are things that we, under learning, if you go into that tab, right, you're going to see some of the different things I've been talking about here, but then you're also going to find an area right here that says Printable posters and handouts. If you click on that, there's some amazing graphic printouts. Here's one of the alphabet, numbers, colors, different hand shapes that you use throughout sign language. These are just some amazing, let me click on this one so it gets a little bigger for you. These are some amazing resources for you to use with your students, okay? And now going back, after they've been exposed to this and know the idea of that signs are made of hand shapes, sometimes I'll go back to my students and say, all right, I want you to go to the sign of the day for Wednesday this week and describe to me the hand shapes that are used for it, that type of thing. Or give me 5 signs that come from this open G hand shape or open B, okay, or bent B hand shape, that type of thing. So again, these are just some really great resources that a lot of the students enjoy the fact that it's a printable, that they can print them and share them that way and look at them, post them up on their wall, that type of thing, okay? So those are our handouts. Like I said, they're great. They're really colorful. Kids love them, okay? They range anywhere from recipes for cooking that we've used. This one was a really popular one with our interpreters. What to pack in an interpreter bag. Kind of fun. Just shows all the different stuff that an interpreter needs to do their daily jobs here. Okay. Again, all printables. All printable things that you can go in and print out. All right. Again, let's go back to our home page. So you can always go back to the home page by clicking on the Sign and Savvy icon up there on the left. You're going to see this right here, close but not the same. Okay, as you teach your students about the 4 basic manual parts or parameters that make up a sign, that's hand shape, location, movement, and orientation, okay, as well as facial expression. It's been very helpful to have the students use this close but not the same, okay, because there can be something that just changes just slightly in one of those parameters, whether it's hand shape, location, movement, orientation, that changes the whole meaning of the sign. Okay, any of you who've been signing for a while realize this. So this is something that focuses on that, right? Close but not the same has all these different sets, and I think we're up to 12 now, but we'll go down to the, we'll say set 3, just so I don't have to clear another page, all right? And what it does is it talks you through the different things, nut and knot, and it's going to show you the videos that go along with, okay? Nut and knot. Nut, we know is going to come like this out of your mouth, and knot is going to be from the chin down here, okay? The ones in this set alone, nut and knot, paper and school, name and way, teach and none, roof and house, okay? Gives you some idea, and it's fun for the students to be able to see how some things can be so close, but they're still not the same just because of one little thing that changed in those. And Brenda Cartwright does an amazing job spelling that all out for everybody, showing everybody what that all looks like, okay? Some of the other areas, quick, teaching about literacy and how children learn. There are also several articles that are just right there at your fingertips about how deaf children learn through cooking, through play, through children's books, and other interesting activities. Those are all going to be right here in this. So you can look at cooking up with language. You can look at recipes. You can look at assigned children's books. Okay, so these are a bunch of books that I have made pages for, word lists for, okay, that go along with them, that are just, when a parent says to you, I can't read to my kids because I don't know the sign that goes along with the books, you can say, well, if you go on Sign and Savvy, you can click on there, you can be able to find the book. Many of them will give you an active link that you can go to then to purchase the book off of Amazon or different places like that. But then it's also going to give you the word lists that go along with this book, okay? So that, again, it takes that guesswork out of it for you because it's all right there. There's the book, there's the vocabulary. Every one of these is a link that goes to it. And you can just start your way through them and watch all of this vocabulary, okay? You can quiz yourself on it with quizzes. You can use flashcards to do it, right? just another great resource for you to use with in your classroom or to use with families or people who are trying to learn. All right. The last thing I want to talk about before we end this video is the Q&A. Okay, there's two different things here. There's Interpreter 411 and Interpreter Q&A. Many articles and information pertaining to interpreters. So I know I said that this is going to be more directed towards this video, towards high school and college. But a lot of you are thinking, maybe I want to go on to become an interpreter. And so it's good for you guys to be able to look through and read through these things. Interpreter tips, interpreter Q&A, interpreter 411. One of our leadership team ran an interpreter program for many years, and is a very skilled interpreter as well as a coda. So she, as well as some of the people that her colleagues that she worked with and things like that, have helped to create some really unique things here. That questions that are asked, by interpreters or by other people about interpreting, that type of thing. Great resources for you. These are some other things that you can post in your discussions for your class for your students to be able to talk about. All right. And don't be hung up if they're a few years old or something like that, because a lot of the interpreter questions aren't going to change that much. The field itself has still a lot of the same things that you can talk about. All right. So I hope that this has kind of pointed out for you just some of the ways that you can use Signing Savvy to build an ASL class, a beginning ASL class for you. Not only can you take a lot of things to put in there for your students to read about and understand that way, but then just the access to a video dictionary, and a video dictionary that you can kind of help them manipulate through word lists, that type of thing. The fingerspelling features, the number features, the sentences. These sentences are fully signed sentences that are out there for your students to see that are done by categories that are just awesome. Okay. Right here, it gives you lists of the English sentence and then the gloss in ASL. My sister's having another baby. Okay, so here she is, another baby, my sister, born Will. Okay, all right, so I hope that you take a look at Signing Savvy and that you find it very helpful. Please let us know if there's anything that we can help you out with. We enjoy helping people. The reason that I did not sign during this video is that we believe that you don't sign and speak at the same time, that's a really difficult way to learn ASL. It doesn't do any favors for either one of the languages. So I chose to speak. We'll have this video captioned so that it is fully accessible to everyone that way. And maybe in another video, you'll see me just doing some signing with captioning. Okay? Thanks. Take care.